Hey there, bud. Welcome to my video. I like to build stuff, and lately I've been making gifts for family and friends as an excuse to build something new. For this project, I'm making a box to pass a bottle of wine off as a thoughtful gift. It should be a pretty simple project. How hard could 6 sides be? I have a few pieces of leftover ash from a previous project that should work nicely. It's all rough sawn, so I'll have to mill it down myself to make it usable. I like to use rough sawn lumber for my projects because it's cheap and I don't really value my time. To start the milling, I cut everything roughly to length. The shorter the boards are now, the less time you'll waste trying to flatten them out in the future. To flatten them out and remove all the saw marks from the first face, I get to use this geriatric joiner. This thing was made by Sears. I have no idea how old it is, but it's been a while since Sears has been a company, let alone a company that made power tools. Next, I run the boards through the yellow lunchbox planer to flatten the opposite side and make both faces parallel. You can also use a planer to hit a target thickness, but for this box I don't really care. I just need the pieces to be flat. Once they can lie on a flat surface without wobbling, I can move over to the table saw and get all the boards the same width. This table saw is probably even older than the joiner, but it continues to work, so I continue to use it. Again, I'm not looking for any specific width, just that they're all the same size. With everything milled down, I can lay out the design and pick the best faces for the outside. And right about here, right now, I realize I don't have enough ash for all 6 sides. Luckily, I've got a piece of cherry on hand. Let's just pretend I planned this and wanted to show a bit of contrast for the top and bottom. So it's back to milling, cut, joint, plane, and now I have enough material. Probably time to sketch out a rough plan and not just use a wine bottle as a rough guide. For this design, the base will be fully enclosed within slots cut into all 4 sides. The lid, though, will slide out and be held on 3 sides, with the 4th side remaining open. I cut the slots on the table saw to make sure they line up perfectly all the way around. And making a few passes to make sure that they're wide enough to hold the boards. For the ends of the box, they will sit in rabbets cut into the sides. The easiest way I can think of to do that is with a rabbeting bit on the router. This setup should make assembly easier because every piece will have multiple faces to reference, and it gives me a reason to use more tools. After routing, I clean up the edges with the table saw and then with a chisel to remove any material left behind. The grooves for the top and bottom to sit in are much thinner than the panel thickness. That's because I'm going with a raised panel design for these pieces. So head back over to the router table and cut rabbets along the edges. I cut rabbets on all 4 sides of the bottom, but only on 3 sides of the top since it's going to slide out. Now with everything cut, it's time to test fit. And I didn't make the lid opening large enough. I forgot to account for the extra material that'll sit under the slot due to the raised panel design. It's okay, this is an easy fix. I marked the extra material I need to remove and use a flush trim bit on the router along with a scrap piece of wood as a template. With all that sorted, I'll give everything a rough sand before gluing. At this point, it's past midnight, so no more power tools. Hand sanding it is. And sanding, 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 sanding. I hate sanding, and I really hate hand sanding. Now to cover everything in glue, ensuring to get in all the corners and slots. I'm using a scrap piece of wood to spread it around. I know they make tools for this, but a scrap piece of wood works just fine. It's finally time to assemble this. I start by slotting the base into one of the sides, then attaching the ends, and then the other side. The rabbets and slots make alignment super easy. Painter's tape will hold everything together. Wrap it a few times for some tension, and then clamp the shit out of it. I always use way too much glue, so there's always a bit of squeeze out. Just wipe it up now. It's way easier than trying to chip it off later. One quick test to make sure the lid still fits, and we're good. The next day, the glue is dry. I actually started taking the clamps off before hitting record, but you didn't miss anything. It's the same box. Just peel the painter's tape off, and lid still fits. Okay, so because everything else took me a lot longer than planned, I actually have to finish this in my apartment instead of in the shop, which once again means final sanding is going to be done by hand. Now, time for everyone's favorite part, applying the oil. I'm using linseed oil because that's just what I have here. I'm not too picky. Most oils will bring out the grain. I don't mind a few imperfections. And there you have it, a custom wine box ready for gifting.